Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Mortal Gamer podcast. Joining me this week is Ensign Paz,
What's up?
and also, how should we address you on the podcast? We're totally recording this. Malcolm. The most original thing he's ever heard in his whole life.
Yeah, Malcolm in the middle.
Every time we have to call you Malcolm in the middle.
Or just in the middle, for sure.
So Malcolm is also joining us this week as I ruffle papers directly into the mic. So this week we will be partly talking about my 2014 top 10 games of 2014. This was something that I intended to do months ago and never ever bothered doing. These games are not in particular order, um, but I will emphasize uh, on the important ones. Uh, I'm just gonna be totally honest. 2014 was just an awful year for games, but there were a few ones that stand out in my mind. So I am literally just desperately grasping at straws to make this a 10 game list.
It was a good game for. It was a good year for early access, though.
I,
Early access galore, man.
it was. Unfortunately, my tastes don't typically lead me into early access because a lot of early access involves like building and a lot of time commitment types of games
Yeah.
like Minecraft and stuff like that, which is totally fine. Don't have the time.
But you're mainly a console player, right? That's like.
Well, like my experiences are kind of. I mean, I kind of sit somewhere in the middle. Like I was raised on Nintendo, but also played like Jedi Knight and Doom and Half Life is my favorite shooter, maybe favorite game period. Um, but I like action games and I don't have the attention span to do any building. Like it's not a bad thing in games, but I won't. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my issue is that I started off as a console player, and then I slowly evolved into a PC player. And I like doing
Yeah.
console playing, especially if there's like people around me.
Well, and now like there's like no difference anymore between console gaming and PC gaming except for the two devices, one being a PC and one being a console. I mean, really, it's most of the experiences are the same.
Well, you can mod games in PC, and that's what I
There's
like about
there's
PC.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, there are
Download
modifications.
mods, download extra guns, download whatever people come up with. So
People will make full single player
exactly, people make like full
campaigns.
expansion packs that are free.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
But it's up to the company to allow it or not, and it's not common like it used to be. Uh,
Not really. I mean, people just create their stuff and just put it online and just let
but
people
less
download
games
it.
allow it though. It's just
Oh well,
Steam,
yeah,
like
they
Steam games and stuff.
some games will like put up a barrier to it, some kind of like programming barrier. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got down that.
I don't know, but let's start this podcast.
Yeah, let's start my 2014 top 10. I'm just going to start this game at the very bottom, but it is a game that has to be talked about. Coors Light Refreshment was it wasn't even a downloadable game. It was a ad-based game on Xbox 360, and you click on this ad and you go in, and it was like a 2D beat 'em up where you were the mountain climbing Coors Light dudes from the commercials, and you fight ice monsters who have harnessed the powers from each ice cold can of Coors Light.
Is this a free game
This is
or?
a free game,
Oh,
but it
that's
really exists, and they would have horrible, hilarious, like basically like ads between each level where they would just say something corny about how these monsters are doing something and here's how Coors Light somehow relates to it. And it was I think the people that made it knew they were the best they could do would put out a bad joke.
I mean,
Um,
I'm sure it was successful.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people
You
clicked
got
on it.
you
And
got a game that's all about, well, it's the brand name beer, and you
Yeah.
climb up mountains like beating people up.
It literally is a 2D.
Free.
It's just yeah, it's like a 2D Double Dragon game, and you can beat it in like half an hour.
Yeah, that sounds like computer games I used to play in
Yeah.
high school when I was in classes. Just passing time, having fun, telling all my friends about. Of course, that would be very popular.
It seems like a fake game. Like it seems like someone made this game like and like Coors Light didn't sign off on it, but it is very much a real game with Coors branding on it, and it's so weird. And I was literally laughing out loud at this thing, and I don't even know how to tell people to play it because it was an ad. It was a thing on the dashboard that you clicked on. It's even difficult to find YouTube videos of it, and I didn't. I still don't technically have a way to capture console stuff, which that will change in the future, of course.
Well, they have that on the PS3 where you can share anything that you play, but I don't think they have that on the Xbox.
I would want to edit it. Like I'd want to edit that.
I think they allow that on the PS3 as well. They have a whole like sharing system.
I'm not even gonna attempt to track down Course Light Refreshment. It is so not worth it. Um, all right, I'm literally using a notepad app on my phone for this ghetto ass podcast. Um, Another game that I enjoyed in 2010. This could probably work as a number 9. Was Geometry Wars 3, which is mostly more Geometry Wars. Um,
I don't think I've heard of that game.
you never heard of Geometry Wars?
No, for some reason I think it's like a Steam PC game.
No, Geometry Wars was a game that surfaced on Xbox 360. It was an Xbox Live Arcade game, and it's basically like a top-down grid. It's just a box, and you are flying around it. It's like asteroids, but each of these shapes that will attack you, these ships, has different behavior. So one will kind of jitter around and avoid your shots intentionally.
Hmm.
Others they kind of move slower, but kind of they each kind of work on their own AI. And this is the third one, and it's mostly more of the same. And yeah, that's it
Well,
really
it sounds like a cool game. I don't know. I don't know if I
it's really
ever
addictive.
get it, but
Yeah, it's
Geometry Wars was fun. It's just not that you can only play it so many times.
yeah.
There's no progression in it. It's just a scoring asteroids game in the sense, like
The
you said.
audio is really sweet.
Yeah, gameplay and the soundtrack awesome, but you can't play it for more than like 2 or 3 times and then
Yeah.
just pass things
Well,
on.
you have to really. I felt like that when I first played the first one, and then like once you get into getting a better score and like how complex the strategy is, like weaving in and out of enemies and stuff. There is a hook to it, but yeah, it's not like progression. They had one for the Wii that had some kind of progression in it, but like most of these games don't really have real progression. You're not leveling or anything. But yeah,
yeah, see, games like that, like 2D games, I can only play if they're yeah, like you said, progressive games like
yeah.
tower defense games, or just like those old 2D strategy games, like what's the name of that game? Ugh, I can't remember, but yeah, progressive games to me are really really good. Um, I don't care if they're 2D or 3D. So
The one on the Wii, you had like a little droid that would like fly around you that you could level up, and he would like shoot at enemies or heal you or something. It was more interesting, and it was on the DS as well. I think I had both versions of that game. It was interesting. I feel like Geometry Wars never fully evolved, which is funny because evolved is right in the title of the game. Geometry Wars evolved, or something like that. Anyway, Geometry Wars 3. If you want to play Geometry Wars, it's a game to play. If you like Defender, if you like Asteroids, if you like games like that, it is exactly. It will fill that niche. Another game that I enjoyed, didn't really hold on to, but Forza Horizon 2 is a game, an open world game where you can drive cars and unlock new cars and drive those and complete objectives, and it's just a fun open world, um, a fun open world driving game.
like Test Drive, the latest ones, Test Drive 2, I think. Is that
I
the one
never
you're
played
talking?
it, so I don't know.
It's
It's kind of
supposedly
like
it's an
Burnout.
open world game where you drive around
You
and get
play
new
driver?
played Driver, except for Driver has very strict like
Rules and regulations. Yeah.
for yeah. It's not like an open world. I mean, it is kind of a bit of an open world game, but a lot of that game is very walled off. Forza, you just drive.
Oh.
It's fun. It's fun. I just don't know that driving's enough for me to hinge like my full attention span on it.
Some people are all about those driving games. I
Yeah.
have a lot of friends that put at least like 3 to 4 hours a day in their driving games because they love those simulations, riding around, drifting.
Mhm. I like all that in like Grand Theft Auto or something where I'm doing something else, so I can get that driving experience without just
Listening to
driving
the radio while you're driving from point A to point B.
and
Yeah.
smashing things up and you know. And
Well, I mean, those kinds of games are kind of successful because, I mean, take a look at on Steam. Take a look at Euro Truck Simulator
yeah,
and
right.
all
They
these
have
other.
trucking simulators on
Yeah,
Steam. Yeah.
exactly. And
What?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
You
have.
just drive a truck?
And if you like fuck up your cargo, it costs you and stuff, right? And
yeah, and you can buy different trucks and upgrade your truck or
it
something like
is
that.
a trucking simulator.
Some people like just driving, you
Yeah.
know, driving in a game, having just like a little easy experience in a game. I don't know.
I've played the Hunter, and that's a hunting simulator.
The Hunter. Oh, I've is that the free to play,
Yeah, it's free to play, but it's hard to get out of it without spending money.
pay to win kind of thing?
No, I mean you're not
Pay to win.
competing with anyone. You know, you're just hunting. So picture
Yeah.
Deer Hunter, but if it had evolved fully into a game with multiple types of animals and whatever. Um, anyway, the Hunter is actually really cool, but it can get expensive. Another game I played in 2014 was a game called Shovel Knight, which is an 8-bit game where your weapon is a shovel and it kind of plays like Mega Man, and you collect treasure to upgrade your character, and it's kind of like Ducktales where you can jump it on dudes and stuff. So
Hmm.
I actually intended on playing that game more, just to have more to say about it. But with the moving and everything, I didn't I didn't play it that much.
Yeah.
But the audio is good, and if you like Nintendo, it plays like an old Nintendo game.
And you like those 2D games, or you like those old games, man.
I they trigger nostalgia in me. Um, but most of the gameplay I feel like I've already kind of experienced. So it's hard for me to fully be like, oh, like Rogue Legacy is the last 2D game I can think of that I ever really got excited about.
Yeah, you try to get me to the game.
That was my number one for last year's the 2013 game of the year. That was my number one, I think.
Even though there's a progression system in it, I don't know why I couldn't get into it.
It takes a while before that game stops being just really hard.
Yeah.
And once you kind of get a character, because you're just kind of rolling for a good character most of the time. Once you get a good character in that game with the stats that you want and the way you play and how it works with your strategies, that's when the game really feels like you can kick some ass.
Yeah.
Before that, it's just kind of beating your head against the wall. Uh,
I guess that's where I lost the interest in the game.
it's hard. It's
Yeah.
damn hard.
Yeah.
Um, that was Rogue Legacy. If you haven't heard of that, I talked to you
No.
about that. Yeah, it's a lot like Castlevania. It's the best modern Castlevania game as far as I'm concerned, even though it's not Castlevania.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Castlevania was hard.
yes, it was. I really like Circle of the Moon for Game Boy Advance, and
Never had that in notes.
it's awesome. It's another whip-based Castlevania game. Alrighty, another game. I'm just kind of starting with the worst games, but they're getting better as we're going along. Um, Another game I really liked was Luftrausers, which is a game which I believe is referencing the Battle of Britain, where the German planes are bombing the ships. But regardless of that, it is a good 2D game where you're flying through the sky and you're shooting down airplanes and you're shooting at these battleships that will shoot back at you. And I think the music even changes with the parts that you're putting on your plane. There's three parts you can put on your plane. There's the engine, there's the guns, there's I think the I can't remember, but it really adjusts the way you play because some you can create a build that's more slower and floaty, but has a really powerful gun. There's one engine that even shoots a big bullets out the back of your.
Oh, and it like it provides thrust for your thing for your
Mm-hmm,
plane. Isn't
mm-hmm.
there a mechanic in the game where you can go into the water and pop back out?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
really cool. I've seen previews to it, and it looks like a really cool game.
It's a really cool game. It is best if you have like a handheld, like a Vita or something like that. I don't. Um, I got a certain level of enjoyment out of it at home, but it just does not feel like a game to play at home because it's such a confined experience. It is just you shooting down these guys and going for the challenges.
Mm.
But it looks and sounds awesome, and it's worth it, and it's cheap anyway. I think
Is
it's
there
like
controller support for it?
yeah.
Okay,
I don't play games with mouse and keyboard too often.
I see.
Um,
This is the Steam version that I'm talking about.
I
I
played it
think,
on Steam, but I think it's on other platforms.
yeah, I think it's on Xbox maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
That's a good. That would be a good controller passing game because if you can die real fast in that game, so it's like a little like 3 5 minute segments.
Yeah.
Uh, if if there was like a universal controller for phones that everyone would agree on, then it would be awesome.
Micro USB Xbox controller.
Or yeah, just like something that yeah, some you can use a fucking DualShock with some phones.
Yeah.
Literally,
Really?
like yeah,
Huh.
yeah, you can sync a Sony controller right up to them.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure there's a way to like
Oh,
hook
with
up
Bluetooth?
something like that.
Bluetooth, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Sony Xperia, they had it in a T-Mobile store. They were showing just Sony controller. It was a DualShock 3 or 4, and it was doing its thing. I was like, oh, so if stuff like that could be universal, then we could use these phones and have some of the best games that could ever be made.
Oh, wait, what was that phone even about?
The N-Gage was
Because I remember that, and
who made the N-Gage?
I
I
thought it
can't
was
remember.
Sega or something.
No, no, no. It was Nokia or something, and it was supposed to be like the first gaming phone. Um, but like you had to take apart the phone to get the game out, and the games weren't very good. And then playing the control system. You look at that phone, and it's just the buttons are not set up for gaming, and it was just a bad attempt. It was a yeah. People called it the taco phone though because it kind of looked like a taco.
Yeah, because wasn't it like this kind of
Yeah, my brother had one.
like a half of a mouth drawn, or like a half of
You put it
like
in
an
front of your
orange,
face, looks like
or
you're
like an
smiling.
orange or something.
Yeah, an orange feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That thing was kind of weird. It's kind of sad because I wanted to see it succeed, but it's whatever.
Like the Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Dreamcast. That thing should have succeeded, but it was too much competition, and there's a lot of
It was
complicated
just too
reasons.
much for its time, honestly. Like the whole internet development and
Well, it's just
the
marketing, like the
the memory
PlayStation,
card
like
gameplay because you could keep playing some of your game on the
piracy
memory
hurt
card.
that thing too.
What happened?
Piracy hurt that thing too.
From what?
Piracy, people just burn games. You can just burn a game and put it in and play it. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Was that easy?
Apparently it
Oh,
was
it
very
was.
easy.
No, it was. Yeah, because
Oh.
they didn't. Because after Dreamcast came out, they knew people knew how to burn disc in effect, so you didn't have to rebuy all your discs for your friends. So like, a person could buy a game, take it back within the 7 days, get their 60
Yeah.
bucks back,
I
and
didn't
have
know
the
that.
game. Yeah, Dreamcast was like one.
Oh wow.
It was so advanced because they literally because like it was the also the first console to ever have internet capabilities with like multiplayer. No
Mm-hmm.
one could use it though because we were still on dial up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it also had like I said the memory card. Like you can even um, put your You could turn on your memory card, start some of the game in the sense, and then like connect it so the game would like start through your Dreamcast. Like it was weird. Like,
They had some pretty
crazy.
next gen like graphics and concepts. Like Shenmue wasn't Shenmue a Dreamcast game? I think Shenmue was a Dreamcast game.
Did the Dreamcast or the PlayStation come out first?
PlayStation.
It was PlayStation. Okay.
PlayStation, yeah. PS2, I think ended up being the Dreamcast competitor eventually,
Oh, okay.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then that was like right as the Xbox was like starting to get broadcasted. So everyone was like,
People were talking about the Xbox like it was going to be a thing back then, but I don't
yes.
think it was. It was not
I mean,
out.
yeah, they were still, and so like everyone was like, I don't really want to invest in this when there's a third console about to be out, and Nintendo GameCube was coming, was either,
Well, GameCube I think was pretty far off, right? I mean,
I don't know,
Xbox was what like?
Xbox and GameCube didn't come out. I thought GameCube came out first and then Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause I had the GameCube.
The
I remember I got
PlayStation,
the PlayStation, then I got my GameCube.
the PS2 was a bigger
Oh no,
threat to
actually
the.
no. I remember I got my PlayStation, Dreamcast, then my GameCube.
They had a DVD player in that PS2. I think that was another huge thing that hurt the Dreamcast because it didn't have a DVD player. I think it was before like DVD
No,
really.
it was right after. I thought. No, it
I
does
know
have a.
Dreamcast did not have a DVD player because I know that hurt them. I know that hurt them with the
But you
competition.
could copy everything. Cause it didn't have a DVD player, but it had that. That's why another reason why it was dope. Because you could copy everything to a CD disc, and it
Yeah.
would play through games and all,
Mm.
like videos and everything. That's why it was like
Yeah.
because it was like I don't know what kind of system they ran on that thing, but it was scary.
Yeah,
Like
like all
you could
the.
even play fucking other systems games technically as long as you emulated it correctly through the
Mm.
disc. Like
It was
my
like a
brother,
computer,
my
you know.
brother was bringing me Marvel vs. Capcom 2, was bringing me like all my Street Fighter Third Strike and stuff.
They had a key.
Dreamcast. Man, I should get a Dreamcast.
I mean, they
Yeah,
don't.
Just
You
I
won't
mean
imagine.
really
those
find them.
games.
Yeah, and most of the Dreamcast because it was only around for like not even a full year and a half. So
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
only had like I remember one of the games was like straight Japanese and stuff, and it was like so weird, but it was fun.
Mm.
Jeff Jeff Gerstmann was talking about the death of the Dreamcast, and he had been home because he was sick. But his job, he ends up talking to a lot of big movers and shakers, and he was on the crapper during the conference call where they were announcing that the Dreamcast was dying. So he was off in the other room taking a shit as they're doing all this. And I think at one point,
Remembers it in detail.
yeah, he said, well, it must have been a
Poor
surreal
man.
moment to find out about the Dreamcast, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be pretty hurt honestly, because I mean, dude,
Well, they kind of saw it
I
coming,
actually
but
wanted the Dreamcast to succeed because that was actually a cool controller, like, and I like the memory card thing, and
the they also threw away a lot of money on Sega Genesis because they had those crappy attachments instead of making another console. They had the 32X and that Sega CD attachment for the Genesis, and like I don't think those made money for Sega.
I never bought anything of those things for Sega.
But it cost Sega a lot of money, and then the Dreamcast was anyway. The game of the year list.
I would
Um,
like to get a PS4 though. 'Cause
yeah, that
that's a lot
is.
competitor right now. It's better than Xbox or
I
PlayStation.
think if you are not interested in Halo, you're not interested in those.
GTA 5.
Well, I think GTA 5 will be on PS4. I mean,
I think it already is, right?
it is. Yes, it is. You're
GTA
right.
5 is on PS4.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, you can. My point is the only reason why you would want an Xbox One is if you care about the exclusives. Um, but I think the PS4 controller is actually better. And I never thought I would ever say that because I thought the DualShock had problems for Western games involving aiming weapons. For fighting games, it's great. You know, the Xbox controller is not the best for all games, but that fucking Xbox One controller cramps your fingers in the back. It forces you to pick high or low on the back of the controller, and it causes me pain. Um, anyway, Far Cry 4. This game is awesome. I'm gonna drop a bombshell in the middle of this
Oh,
list.
you started playing it?
I beat I beat Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4? Oh, okay.
Far Cry 4. I beat Far Cry 4 for Xbox One because this was.
Is it rolling now?
It's rolling. We've been
Oh, okay.
rolling. Yeah, we have
Oh,
been.
man. I didn't even know.
Sorry, I didn't want to. I hit record because he brought up the N-Gage, and I was like, I want to get the sweet N-Gage conversation on tape.
Yeah.
Because everyone's talking about N-Gage.
Far Cry 4 is awesome, man.
It is
I
awesome
like it.
when you light someone up in that game. You really know it. The ragdoll and for the enemies, and when you shoot up a car as it's rolling down the road, you got a big chain gun. The shooting's really satisfying.
The leveling system is also satisfying as well.
Yeah.
Like riding a, there's a part where you get to choose the ability to ride a elephant.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah. The elephants are great because you can just freaking blow through whatever you choose.
Yeah. Um, have you been playing Far Cry 4 at all, or?
Yeah, I started playing it. I just the whole action to me just hasn't been so appealing. Like I really like the hunting
Yeah.
and just skinning and getting all that loot stuff all upgraded.
Hmm.
But I just haven't been too intrigued with the actual campaigning.
Campaigning.
Yeah, like I play for like a good like hour and a half, just like hunting things, swimming, looking for like treasures and stuff. Like, cause the shooting and like hunting is so much fun. Like, it seems so realistic.
Yeah.
You
I
just get like caught in the actual like gameplay.
Hmm. Sometimes the campaign can seem a little tedious. Like there'll be times where I'm going through with the campaign and I just want to do something else because I'm getting bored of it.
Yeah.
You know.
The moments in so many games. I mean, it's getting to be less so as games become more modern or whatever. But back in the day, the moments in games that stood out to you, especially if you're talking like PlayStation era, was it was like story beats or like moments within a single player campaign. Games like Far Cry 4 and Grand Theft Auto, many of these open world games, most of these big moments you kind of run into quite literally. Like, whatever, you throw C4 on the road and the guy's coming at you and you blow him up and he rolls down the cliff and the tiger chases the flaming wreckage down the cliff. Or there was one time I was playing Far Cry 3 and I was hiding in the bush because I think I was out of ammo. And this guy was looking around, and he says something like, "Oh, nothing to report here." Oh shit, a tiger! And literally, a full-size tiger comes out of the woods and starts attacking them. And they all start, like 20 guys start shooting at this tiger. I mean, this is all action that was not scripted. These moments are what Far Cry 4 is about. The single-player story is okay.
Have you played the Escape from Kirat mission? The I don't know. It's
Which ones were those?
Escape from Escape from Kirat. I think it's a mode in the game where you have 30 minutes to escape from the island. Um,
I think I played most of the missions in the game. I just don't
What do you
remember.
have? What happens at the end? Like, is it good?
I haven't finished it yet, but you have 30 minutes to escape from. So you start off on top of a radio tower, and you have 30 minutes to get to a certain point on the map, and you can do anything you want. You can complete side missions and anything, but as long as you do it within 30 minutes, and I haven't completed it yet, but I think I've died like more times trying to get off that radio tower than I have actually getting shot by somebody else. You know,
You get the wingsuit like right away,
I
right?
didn't know how to use it. Like the first time I booted the game, I did that mission mode, and I just jumped off the tower and was like, "How the hell do I do the parachute thing?" And I just bleh, sat on
Yeah,
the floor.
yeah. Sometimes you jump and you wait for the prompt to say press A to open your wingsuit or whatever, and it doesn't come right at the time you expect it to, and you can fall and die because of it, and whatever.
Yeah, when it prompts me, I'm looking down at my controller trying to like figure out where it's
Mhm.
at, and then
Mhm.
next thing I know, I'm dead. You know.
It is a great game. It's not really the story that gets you with that game, but what happens is I can't remember the details, but one of the characters wants Kirat to become more prosperous, but it means being involved with the growing and dealing of narcotics on the island, or like hard drugs on the island
Oh,
through opium or something.
opium. Yeah, there we go. You gotta either save the opium fields or burn them down. That's one of the mission.
I went every time. I went with her every time because I said
You
hard.
Save
would.
the opium.
Well, save the opium because like this.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I wasn't promoting because there's crime that becomes comes out of opium and hard all whatever. But like they were also in there dealing with like genocide in the game and all this shit and poverty. And I'm like, you guys need all the money you can get. Like this is
And you
not.
need that opium for some pain, like with all
Yeah,
the genocide
yeah.
you got.
Hmm. Especially if you're at war. But it's good. I don't know. It's worth your time.
I don't know if did you play Far Cry 3?
Yeah, I
Was
beat.
there a mechanism to like put an auto drive on there when you're
No.
like going from A to B? No. I really like that mechanism in Far Cry 4 because it
In
gives you the
four,
ability.
you have an auto drive. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll gives you more time to like aim at different enemies instead of just doing two things
I
at
feel like
once.
that shit never worked for me. Like it would like run me
Yeah,
off into a
I
tree
kind of
and
I
off a
liked.
cliff.
I did agree with you on the auto drive,
Yeah.
but every time I used it, there's been like out of like the 10 times, I'm gonna say a good four. I always get driven to the wrong spot. It drives me like
It
the
does that.
longest way,
Yeah.
or like I'm going like 600 yards and it takes me like around the entire island like a limousine taking its
Yeah,
time. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
what the hell happened to me?
Oh
It'll
my
do that
god.
sometimes. Yeah, I know. I'll notice that sometimes where I'm just like, okay, I'm just
Going right
playing
up the.
around with the gun, and then like all of a sudden, no, you go right. Don't go straight ahead. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
It's
God.
it's like on the. You remember on The Office where they were driving and the GPS like told them to turn left and there was a lake there and he's like, oh, it says turn left, and he's like, no, and they go into the lake or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that episode. It's pretty funny.
The Office is really good.
I haven't seen all the episodes, but that
I,
particular time, what season was that? That was like
It was like three or something like that, right?
okay.
Or two. I saw like the first like three seasons. I stopped right where Pam and that dude were getting married or something. I stopped right about there. Just no reason, just because.
That's kind of where I stopped as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great. Then that hell, it did not. It was not any less funny. In fact, it was funnier where I left off. Um, yeah, I would watch that show in public and try not to look like a total crazy person because it makes you laugh so fucking hard sometimes. It is so funny. Um,
I mean, I can understand because I used to work in an office as well, so a lot of the things that they do now are kind of like, yeah, that's sometimes
it's
it
like
always
common
sticks in
office
my mind.
pranks, you
You
know.
know.
Yeah, yeah. It's relatable if you've ever worked in an office. Um, Rise, Son of Rome. If I had taken the time to number these, it would be closer to the bottom. But it is worth mentioning on this list. Rise, Son of Rome is a Roman gladiator game with really good Crytek graphics and it's a
Thought,
really
or I thought the guy was a legionary.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gladiator. I use
All right.
gladiator for Roman dudes in armor with swords.
He's a
So
gladiator.
I'm literally dumbing it down so I don't have to explain things.
I've
But
seen a lot of previews of that game. It looks pretty good.
it
The graphics look pretty good as well.
it looks really good.
And
Even
that's where
that's
that's the
kind of
catch,
where
I
it
guess.
begins and ends. Yeah, I mean, the problem is the combat is so bad. I mean, it's satisfying for like an hour, but like the combos really start to get old. Um, I played about 70% of that game, and the acting is really good and it looks awesome, and the music and the presentation, it all feels awesome.
What is this the what else do you do in the game?
It's just for the most part, it's just an action game where you're hacking up dudes with your sword. Like you're engaging enemies. You're
Is it 2D or 3D?
this is 3D. This is you're running around. It's kind of like Devil May Cry or whatever.
Okay.
But you're not flying all over the place like you do in Devil May Cry because you're holding a sword and a shield or whatever. You can counter, and there are like super attacks where like two enemies will come at you, and you'll be deflecting one sword behind you and be pointing the other way with the other sword, stabbing one dude. And it's a really cool cinematic thing they do. it just the problem with games is it has to come down to the gameplay, and it just got boring, um, like real boring, and it's a shame because everything else about the game is really awesome. So, but yeah, uh, Rise Son of Rome. I'm sure it's worth buying now because it's probably worth nothing. Like it's probably like a cheap game.
$5.
Yeah, bargain bin or whatever would buy it for $20 tops. I would say.
Single player? Is that
Single player, yeah. I don't even know if there's multiplayer. Like, if there is, who cares, right? I mean, usually it's not a good experience if it's not really invested in by the developer.
yeah?
um, Crossy Road. I actually spent a lot of time playing Crossy Road. This game is basically Frogger for phones. You swipe your finger up to move him forward. I think you can tap as well to move him forward. You tap for each jump, and you gain points by catching like flies or something, kind of like an old Frogger. You would get the lady frogs.
This is a game I haven't heard about.
Yeah, Giant Bomb kind of pointed them out on their pointed this game out, and it's free, and it's you just kind of swipe, and you gotta see how far you can get. It's endless.
Okay.
Um, but once you get it, you get it.
Kind of like Flappy Bird.
It's better than Flappy Bird because Frogger is awesome. But
Fuck Flappy Bird.
yeah,
Frogger's better.
the
Flappy Bird was stupid.
yeah.
Like it just didn't.
I
It
don't think
wasn't even.
anyone was saying it was a great game though. Like I don't think anyone was
I've seen YouTube videos.
defending it.
I've seen YouTube videos where people have gotten to like level 1,000 or something.
Yeah, I always
Waste
want
of
to know
time.
that like anything of Flappy Bird was true. You know, like where they do that like weird level stuff and you fight Mario or something.
Oh, I think that was like it was a mod for the game.
Oh.
Yeah, the regular game doesn't contain that. I don't think
Yeah.
it does. At least that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that sounds like a mod.
I looked at the comment section on the that video that you saw where you get to fight Mario, and apparently people were saying that no, that's just a mod. It's a mod that people downloaded. You know,
Mod
that would be cool to have to fight Mario though. There probably would be copyright issues with that. I don't
I
know.
mean, that's why
Of course.
it
Fuck.
already had
Even having
copyright
this
issues.
conversation.
Yeah, it had the copyright issue. That's why it's gone.
Well, that guy pulled that game down himself. Um, he pulled down Flappy Bird proper himself because he was getting harassed and shit. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Pretty much just because of the copyright
Was
infringement.
that the reason why
Yeah, like
it was?
Nintendo was like emailing him and threatening the fuck out of him.
Oh,
Like,
really? I thought it was fans that were
no,
harassing him.
no,
Wow.
no, no. It wasn't fan. No, like, why would fans be mad about him making a game?
Yeah, it's all
That's
about the
insane.
money
Dude,
makers.
people attack people on the internet verbally and
People were threatening
swatting and
him
bullshit.
to not close it because they were pissed.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, we want this game. But yeah, Nintendo was threatening him violently.
The problem with Nintendo is they don't understand internet and how shit like this happens with mods and stuff and how it's not his fault and like, you know.
Hey, he got his way. He got his
Yeah, he
money
got his money.
good.
Yeah, I think he put it back on the store. I don't
Oh,
know.
he was actually selling it, that mod?
No,
Is that what-
He was
he
getting
was
money through
making
ads,
he
but he
made
was
around
making
like
Oh, the
he made
millions.
ads.
like
Okay.
40 or $50 million or something.
He was making huge numbers every single day.
Yeah, he was making. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah, he was making like over $20 million a day.
Damn.
Now, yeah,
Because of all the ads that because if you think if everyone played Flappy Bird once a day and got an ad, every ad pays him so many dollars.
I guess there's loopholes in that to like sue somebody for that kind of stuff. Instead of just like
ugh.
if I put something out for free, but I get ads for it, money for ads, and I don't know.
It shows you can make a game that
Yeah,
is not hindered by the fact that it's a free game. That you didn't have to pay for Flappy Bird to enjoy whatever it was. I didn't give a rat's ass about the game, but it wasn't like a pay to enjoy kind of game or pay to win kind of game, and he made bajillions of dollars. So he kind of proved all the greedy corporate game cats wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure if you took it off, then there's probably people out there who are putting it out there on some other websites for people to download.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what they've been doing. So
Yeah,
it
so
hasn't gone away.
yeah, it's not gonna go away.
Who do people actually think Flappy Bird's a good game? Like,
I mean, it's just a game
really?
that you can't like. People want a very stupid whatever this
Well,
Angry Birds. Like you can. Those are games that anyone can technically go
even
far
Angry
in.
Birds seems like
No,
it's
no,
science compared to
no, but
fucking.
yeah, no, but those are games that anyone can beat, but they get very tedious to a point.
Yeah,
Just how like you said, you like to be pushed on certain action games, so you
yeah.
know that it's enjoyable. Otherwise, it's like, what am I playing this for? Like Assassin's Creed, you're like, I can just press X every second and I will kill everybody no matter what, because it's just countering. And that's the game. Just
Yeah,
pressing that one button.
Assassin's Creed. I don't understand. Like I've tried to enjoy those games, but they look good and they sound good. But like I got to that first chase, like follow mission in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I said, boy, this game is already boring, and I never played it ever again.
Is it just like a hack and slash game or what?
No, it's not even hack and slash. You get four options. You can attack, counter, do something.
It's kind of like Batman combat, where you're mostly just waiting for the counter.
Yeah, like you played Batman, Arkham City, any of the Batman
Arkham
games.
Asylum.
Sort of.
Arkham
But did you
Asylum's
have
good. You have
but
a
you know the whole
360. Why don't you
attacking
get that
Yeah,
game?
sequence?
yeah.
That is a little bit more complex than because at least on Batman you do like auto attack. So if you're surrounded by a group of people and you attack,
Mm-hmm.
he just starts punching everybody and stuff, and you get like stronger attacks after so many punches and stuff. So it
There's
has
more
some
complexity to the
to
hand-to-hand
get
stuff.
to the combat. Assassin's Creed, all you can attack people and they'll just always defend,
I see.
and
Okay.
that's it. And then so you'll just have to sit there in a circle of people, and they'll just with a big old axe, "Ah!" and all you do is just press X,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just grabs the axe and hits them.
I see.
And then they're dead. That's it, and that's
Mm.
all you can. Like you can kill anyone with just pressing X, which is counter.
Mm.
Like and that's a boss. That's the villain. That's it.
Really? Oh
Four is
man.
better. People like four, but I'm just like there's so many game concepts from the last generation that I'm just so over.
I was
Like
gonna get Assassin's Creed.
I mean if you like Assassin's Creed, you'll
Well, I mean,
like
I
Assassin's
haven't
Creed
really
4.
had that much experience with it, so.
And then you wouldn't know
Yeah.
like and also the whole point is that there's a whole storyline which no one knows
Mm-hmm.
because they keep like it's
It's
all
really bizarre
yeah
and
because the whole thing is
convoluted.
like it's like the Matrix. It's called
Oh,
kind
Oh
of
okay.
my
like they
god,
take
yeah.
a man and he's the chosen one, but it's not even the main guy anymore. It's like different people that are now chosen
Yeah,
to
there's like
go
a
in
whole
this
business.
yeah, it's like two businesses looking for people to go into this virtual reality to get memories from different people.
Yeah, no
So
bullshit. This is part
yeah,
of Assassin's
and so
Creed.
then
Really?
you go you.
Oh,
That's
it
why it's
sounds
like
so crazy
so
out
you
loud.
go in different history time zones and relive as like for instance Black Flag. You're a assassin pirate,
Oh,
so
okay.
you live the life of the assassin living in trying to find out what happened to this point because we don't know.
Hmm.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
It's such a bunch, and then like you never know the entire thing because you play so much of the Matrix part of the game, you don't even remember what the hell is the storyline. So you're like, because I asked people that have played the first one to Black Flag, and they're like, dude, I have no idea what's going on. Like they rarely tell you what
Don't they minimize
Mm-hmm.
that stuff in Black Flag though? Like, don't they have a bit less of the
the actual business thing. Yeah, they rarely even talk about the
Okay,
business.
good.
Just all Black Flag.
Four seems like to be the refined Assassin's Creed game. I'm just mostly still over it. Even if it's a good game,
And
I'm
it
over
they
it.
did instigate like pirate ships and stuff, so you have like traveling in pirate ships, but it's really dumb.
I'd rather watch
That's one
someone
of the
else
reasons why I
play
was gonna
it.
get it. I was like, oh, pirate ships! You get
Yeah,
to have your own pirate ship and like
the
But that's
pirate
even
stuff
but
is
that's even
cool.
yeah, it's
fire
cool for a little
broadside.
bit, but it's
You know.
like you got to get that shit leveled up and then like
I just don't like playing the game. Like if this was a movie, like if they just made a movie, I'd be stoked. But like,
yeah, because it'd be
Mm.
like a cool Pirates of the Caribbean, but not just for kids. It'd be
yeah,
like killing and like a Rambo. That's like
Like Rambo, yeah.
yeah, no, literally, because that's all Assassin's Creed is just like just going from one place to the next, killing.
Why
And
beating on dudes with a sword?
yeah, like, and it's just all secret. So it's like 007 Rambo ness. Like, he just keeps going from spot to spot to spot, just
Yeah.
doing a secret kill, and then you're gone. Like, walking. Like, every time you do a big kill, you always have to get out of the scene, like, without being caught and stuff, which I actually
Yeah.
appreciate because you can't, like, just start booking it because everyone's like, hey, what's that?
Well,
Yeah.
and if you think about Assassin's Creed, what it has become now, like you're barely an assassin anymore. I mean, you're a pirate in this new.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It
and
just,
before you were assassinating. I mean, that was the big thing.
like, the last one you were an assassin and then another an assassin group, like, trying to know what happened to, like, one of your
Was that three?
assassins. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, three was.
Well, they
People
got a
did
new
not
one
like
out.
three.
They got a new.
You hated three, didn't you? Play three and you said it
I
was
didn't.
garbage.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have that much experience. I only like played like 2 minutes of it.
Someone else on our show did. They
Yeah, as
played
soon as you
three.
play it, that's all that it is. Like, plus you just get, like, another sword or something later on. But as soon as you, even, like, for, like, 3 minutes of just killing two people, like, that's all I have to do. You're like, yep.
Mm.
That is the game, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, another game I believe. I'm just making shit up right now, but I think Shadow of Mordor might have started as an Assassin's Creed game because it kind of feels like an Assassin's Creed game, and it's also on this top 10
You
list.
played it too, so.
I did. That's why it's on my top 10
Is
list,
that the
and
next
that's why
game?
I'm segueing into this game. Yes, that's what I did there.
I haven't played that game yet, but
Yeah, me neither.
It's
I've been
really good.
recommended by a couple people to get into it, but I just don't really like putting so much time and emphasis on a character. Like, I like developing a character, but I don't like
It's not. I mean,
babying
it's
a character.
no. Well, it's mostly just like playing the game and then dropping skill points in. I mean, it's just like a tree, a skill tree, kind of.
it does appeal to me, that game, Shadow of Mordor, just because
It
it's a
the
Lord of the Rings kind of thing.
It's a
You know?
Lord of the Rings game, and it's rated M, and it's violent as hell. Like you're like cutting off dudes' heads, and there's blood pouring out, and it's
It's Lord of the Rings game.
Lord. Well, here's the thing. Okay, it is a Lord of the Rings game, but it doesn't even say Lord of the Rings on the game, on the title of the game. It is
Mordor.
just Shadow of Mordor.
The Mountain of Mordor.
Yeah, I don't even think they. I mean, I think they said Lord of the Rings in the game, but it has very little to do with Lord of the Rings at all.
Mm.
They have Golem is in there, and so Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb doesn't know anything about Lord of the Rings. Golem's in this game, and he's like, "Hey, what is this guy? Is he like the Jar Jar Binks of the Lord of the Rings world?"
Jar Jar.
And then I thought about it. I was like, "Damn, Golem does kind of remind me of Jar Jar now that I think about it." Now that they put it like that. But anyway,
My girlfriend's really like stoked on seeing the new Star Wars Awakens. Yeah.
What's that? The rest of the movies?
they're making a new Star Wars.
The new Star Wars, the Force Awakens.
What number is this now?
This
7.
is supposed to be the newest one.
This is number 7, technically
7.
in the.
So
How many more do they have?
Well, they George Lucas made 4, 5, and 6 actually before 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, and 6 is the trilogy that most people are familiar with Darth Vader and Luke, I am your father, and that is the
I'm
trilogy that.
finding out that he was having sex with his sister.
yeah, he anal.
I think the yeah right. Did we talk about this
I
earlier?
don't know, but it wasn't on the podcast.
Damn it! No one will ever know about our conversation involving anal sex. Um, but yeah, Star Wars. George Lucas was the worst thing about Star Wars. I mean, he had some really good ideas in there, but he's the reason why the new trilogy was awful. Like the one. I mean, 3 is okay, but like I'm hoping J.J. Abrams can make Star Wars cool again. But oh my god.
Well, hopefully.
How many years has it been since? Like, it hasn't been like
Like
20
40
years?
years or something that Star Wars has been around 50 years, something like that.
Dang.
I'm maybe
Yeah.
exaggerating a little bit, but it started in like the 70s, and
Yeah, 70s.
but they brought it back when I was young. So they re-released those
They
special editions.
re-release and now they're coming out with the last one. What's the last one even
They
about?
well they so they
It's a new story, I guess.
yeah, it's a new
Yeah,
story. They
it's a completely new
re-released the
story.
old ones when I was a kid, and then the 1, 2, and 3 were released as they were the new movies when I was growing up.
But
So
if you watch them from like 1 to 6, does it make sense?
the one episodes 1 through 3 are kind of shitty movies if you analyze them. So it probably won't make sense if you
I
think
guess if
about
you
it
read the
too
book,
much.
it'd make better sense. You know, read the
Don't
books
worry
for,
about the Star
you know.
Wars story. I mean,
He's like, fuck Star Wars, man.
I mean, I like Star
There's
Wars,
too many
but just
movies
watch.
out there.
I tell people if you like Star Wars, maybe watch all of them, but only expect like 3, 4, 5, and 6 to be good. 1 and 2 are bad.
Okay.
One
Well,
and two are
I
bad.
just don't know what I'm supposed to do about it because everyone wants
Just
me to
watch
watch
them.
Star
I mean,
Wars and I
I
don't.
should. I
Just watch the
I
ones from the
have
70s and then
I
watch
have those on
this.
my hard drive.
And then
Wait,
Only
watch-
no.
watch them.
Which one's the one with Samuel L. Jackson in it?
That's the new ones.
That's the new ones.
So there's old ones.
The old ones were Luke, I Am Your Father, and all that. Those are the old ones. But those were made in like the 70s.
So let's just say like there's
Really?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
re-released them when I was a kid.
So they
So
remade
I watched
them, or
them
they
and
just brought them
they
back.
they digitized them, they cleaned them up, they added some bullshit special effects and stuff I don't want to get into on this podcast. But yeah, they enhanced them for the 20th century, but they are basically the same movies. Then I don't know, 5 years after that, they released Star Wars Episode One, which was supposed to be like, holy fucking shit, dude! Year 2000, we got Star Wars. It's a piece of garbage, and what a disappointment! Oh my
Is
god!
that the one with the kid racing?
Yes, like grown adults are gonna believe a kid could. Oh, I mean, Star Wars has always been stupid
isn't
if you
the
think
second
about
one-
it too much. But
Isn't the second one where the kid gets like taken into the Jedi's? Or no, the second one, or is that
I
still the
like
first
the
trilogy?
uninvited Yoda growl.
Sorry, I just had to.
Does that kid ever get? Who is that kid in reference to?
I don't know who he is.
It was
He's just
wait
pretty-
Yoda or the
Does he
kid?
ever get to meet Yoda? That kid that races? Is he like
Yeah,
Anakin?
that's Darth Vader.
That's Darth Vader?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he grows up to be Darth Vader. So just imagine 6 books, and then imagine 6 books
Why
came
does
out.
he get to be Darth
So
Vader?
here's
Yeah.
so it's imagine if this story of a movie that follows an innocent kid growing up in the powers of good turning completely evil. Imagine if those movies were made well. Would have been so
Yeah.
great, but the opposite. He was tricked in the third movie. He is tricked by a Sith Lord, um, basically to join the dark side, and it's more complicated than that. But I'm not going to explain
He
the
ends up
story of
fighting his master, and he gets burned in the process. And then
Yeah.
like he goes back to his ship, and they put on like the mask on him to like cover his burns, and that's a
to
Darth
keep him
Vader.
alive.
That's a
Basically,
Darth Vader costume. So that's
It was-
basically what happens.
Yeah.
He goes from being a really good kid to being a really smart kid to being the leader of whatever.
He began
and then
questioning.
he turns bad.
Yeah.
You know.
What master does he kill?
Well,
He
doesn't
kills
kill-
a bunch. Well, I don't want to
Oh,
spoil
he
the
just-
movie, but
Oh, he just goes. He goes.
he
ape
kills
shit?
a
His
lot
master-
of
So
people.
number 3 is cool. Does he
He-
just go on a rampage?
It is, but it's like a PG-13 movie. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's a really good movie. Like
Why did they not make him rated R?
I want to see a
Disney,
Rambo 4 version
Yeah.
of Star Wars.
Yeah, they need to make a good.
a violent Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is why Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor is cool because it is that for Lord of the Rings.
Back to Shadow of Mordor.
Yes,
please.
back to Shadow of Mordor. Yeah. So it's the thing about this game that's cool is it has what they call the Nemesis system, where if you get killed by an enemy, you can so you cannot die because you have a ghost man living inside of you. Okay, the story is stupid. Moving on. You have a ghost in you, and so you cannot die. So when an enemy kills you, he ranks up in his army, and then you will run into him again in the battlefield, and the camera will zoom in on him, and he'll say something smug like, "I thought I killed you," and they'll like talk some real bad shit to you too. Like they say some fucked up things. So it really does recreate these scenes from movies where they encounter their nemesis. They call it the nemesis system. Encountering your nemesis on the battlefield, and it's effective because you see their face and you're like, "Oh, I hated this asshole."
These are only for the boss fights, right?
No,
Or is it just for any troop?
you
on
can
them?
get killed a lot of times, and these dudes can become like
I want to
bosses.
see a video where like they get killed all the time. They don't even try. They just get killed all the time by just different troops, and they just rank up the enemy.
Yeah, everyone just a huge population
Yeah.
of overpowered enemies.
Yeah.
It's I don't fully understand how it works. People have told me I never beat it. I got real far. I never beat it.
Hmm.
But people tell me, and towards the end, you get so powerful that there's like I think someone said he just wiped out everybody
Hmm.
or something. It was like one guy on his Nemesis system map because he killed everybody. But
There's a mechanic in the game where you can also you can call in like feral dogs or some shit like that, or like what are they called the animals in the game?
oh, they're I always called them wargs because they looked like wargs.
Yeah, so these wargs can like scare some certain characters in the game, certain enemies.
Yes.
They'll be
Yes.
afraid of them, and you can
Yes.
call them in, and they'll be shit scared.
Yeah, you'll call in these matadors and they'll see him and go, "Ah," and then they run away. Matadors is what they're called, I think.
Oh.
I don't know, whatever, who cares? But they'll freak out and run away, and then it helps you to chase them down. What I would do is when I got the ability is they'd go to run and I'd pin them down with my bow, so I'd shoot them on the foot, and then they would stick through their leg and into the ground, and then they couldn't run.
That's cool.
So it's an ability you can get. It's and just like all Ubisoft games, there are towers you get to climb. Just like Far Cry, just like The Crew, a driving game, you get to climb towers.
Hmm.
Um, so all these games have towers. So you climb up this tower, and when you get up to the top, it opens up an area of the map. Um, it's a great game.
Hmm.
If you just want to fuck up some dudes with your sword, and it looks good. It's violent. The orcs look awesome. Like they are gnarly and scary, and the texture on the skin. It's all very convincing.
Hmm.
Um, it's a good game.
It's not like Minecraft.
Hmm?
It's not like Minecraft blocky.
No, no, it's not. It's,
I know it's not that way, but
no, their
poking
faces
fun
do
at
not
you.
look like Legos. Um, yeah, that game probably would be like in my top three if I bothered to number any of these.
Grand Theft Auto come out last year?
It came out. That was on my list, my 2013 list. That was a 2013 game, not a
It's been out for
2014.
2 years already?
Something like that,
And
because it
they've
came.
released it 3 separate times. Those
Yeah, it hasn't
bastards.
come out on PC yet either. They still haven't done that. I don't know why.
Because they've released it three
Yeah.
separate times, and they've
What was the
still
third?
for the PS4 and Xbox One. They released it for the original, and then they like re-released it with like remastered and like downloadable bullshit, and then
Well, it's only two different releases so far. There's been PS3, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, PS4, and PC will be number three.
well, they also
Um,
had like the add-on downloadable expansion pack for like online play and shit.
for the 360 version or
In the
whatever.
PS3, yeah, you
Was
could buy
that did
you
that
could buy
add the
like a
wildlife and stuff?
yeah,
Or
like you got a whole buttload of BS that you didn't really need just for multiplayer online shit.
hmm.
Like it was an add-on that you could have gotten.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
pretty sure. Because Grand Theft Auto franchise 3 was just awful.
I thought so too. Like I thought four was, or the
Four
five,
was
whatever the
so off. Like I
yeah.
couldn't. I played a minute of him. Like, and my friends were like, "You're not gonna like it because of the drive. Because the driving
The
was
driving's
just so
terrible, and
awful. Like,
it takes
holy
forever to unlock new guns, and yeah, that game. I agree. I think Grand Theft Auto is highly overrated, but I thought the last one was good. The sad thing is, I think the storytelling in four and all the DLC for four was great. I just couldn't play the games because they sucked. Like I
yeah,
thought,
the last one, the last positive Grand Theft Auto to me was San Andreas.
San Andreas is pretty good. I liked it. There's a whole
I have
leveling
that for
system.
Cause I
Xbox
just
One.
because that whole
Or
gameplay to
360.
me was just like unstuck. I just like those games where like it's still hard, but you still feel like you're in a video game that you're unstoppable. Cause like during San Andreas, no matter what, during you on your own rampage or when you have 5 stars, you still have that like realization that I can still take out everyone
Yeah,
here.
if you're in the right spot, yeah.
Yeah, like I can win this. Like you can all like no matter even if the army's coming at you and there's helicopters. You know, you're like, let me just get my rocket launcher. Man,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
still win this. Like, give me. Oh, I died. Oh, wow.
I like the fact that you could just like go to like a workout. You can just work out and like increase your strength and like get a tattoo or something like that. You know, that was always cool, man. To me, like I didn't see that in the previous games. So
Yeah, complete customization. Like, just doing whatever you
and
wanted.
GTA 5 has that too. It's
Just a
but
lot more time consuming. Like, the San Andreas was just like, ping, 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 ping. It was just like, quick.
yeah,
I never played San Andreas.
Wow.
it's just like GTA 5 except it's shittier graphics. But I
What?
don't know. It's
Shittier graphics, your character can run a lot faster, which
I've
is
seen a lot
yeah.
of people play it.
like
I actually
it's
have it on the 360. I
it's
bought it.
actually like overemphasized in gameplay, like which I actually like because like when you're about to die, you can just like it's like turbo on like running. You're like, oh god, get out of
Yeah.
here!
Yeah.
Just like book it over a fence, like
Get
you're
on a
like
bike.
adrenaline pump. Yeah, just get on a bike, like ah, like
Mhm.
you know it's like shitty graphics, you know. So you're like, God, come on, like, let
Yeah.
me get around this corner. Give me my gat. Hey sir, get out of the car. Like it's just so.
I think GTA 5 isn't GTA 5 San Andreas as well.
It
It's
has
like
San Andreas.
California.
It has the compound of San Andreas, like where CJ
Oh,
lives and stuff. Because
okay,
like,
yeah.
remember that mission where you go and get the coke and it's like soap or whatever, and
Mm.
then like you have to like kill everyone on that circular
Drywall.
block. Yeah, it's drywall. Yeah,
Oh right, yeah, I've done
that's
that
it's
mission.
right next to CJ's house
Okay, yeah.
or CJ's old house.
That was
Everybody loves
funny.
San Andreas. That's why they made GTA 5 probably based on San Andreas and a little bit more.
I
Yeah,
was kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the scenery in GTA 5. Don't get me wrong,
and you
but
could play two. The tightest thing is that you can go play 2 player and just go around the city in San Andreas.
Oh, they had a co-op kind of couch co-op kind of thing. Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
you had to go to like a certain part of the map or
You had to
something.
go to
Oh
like this
right,
like
yeah.
Mexican place,
I've
and
seen
then
the YouTube
It was
video on
so
that.
stupid that they couldn't just make that a button on the menu.
Yeah.
Like, let's make it harder. You know, they had to drive to the. I think they thought it would make it feel more realistic or something. I don't know.
yeah, let's get back to the
Oh, yeah,
countdown.
yeah, countdown. I bet Malcolm can guess our number one game for.
Hello Kitty Adventures.
Battlefield.
No, you're on the right track. Oh wait, yeah, you're on the right track.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been playing nothing but Call of Duty for the past 2 weeks, and I've been playing nothing but Call of Duty for the past ever since it's been coming out. Ever since it came
I
out.
just played it right now. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
we played it. Yeah, it has infected our lives. Yeah, it's the first Call of Duty with a jetpack, and it totally changes the way Call of Duty is played now. Because if someone's behind a piece of cover and you know it, you can just go right over, and it really changes the reaction time required to play the game and how fast the games play out and how many people are and aren't sniping at any given time, and it's it's kind of like Black Ops on speed.
With a little Modern Warfare 2 NES in it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I gotta
The
say,
guns kind of suck though.
yeah, that's one of the biggest like things I have to say is that the whole selections of guns must be upgraded for the next
Mm-hmm.
game. Like, because the whole fire rate, because everything's based off of fire rate, and if there's any lag, there's no way of you ever getting a kill, pretty much. So,
Yeah, if you're in a game and you're experiencing severe lag, then you won't be successful against people holding like SMGs or whatever. You know, if they're shooting faster, they're gonna win. Um, Black Ops had a lot of cool guns in this game, but it feels like a step back from that.
but to mention, they did step it out using like different types of guns, like laser guns and
Yeah, the
plasma
laser guns are
guns
kind of
and
cool. Yeah.
stuff. But those are also
Yeah, that's
just
pretty cool. I was seeing you play that game right now a few minutes ago, and that was actually pretty cool. You know, seeing the whole lighting system and
I have a laser chain gun. Shoots
a
laser.
chain gun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean the whole gameplay does seem like it's really fun, and it does have like it has a variation of guns. Just that all the guns just aren't good. Like they all have like
Mm.
a good perk in them. Like for instance, the laser gun's great to laser people, but it's just a horrible gun. Like
Yeah.
it's so slow, and you have to like literally laser someone for a good 3 seconds.
Hit record, and we're going to continue from where we left off. Not gradually or anything, because I don't care. Advanced Warfighter is the 2015 Game of the Year. 2014 Game of the Year. Um, it did not change my life. It did not reinvent the wheel, but it.
I'm sure there's about a bunch of Battlefield fans saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're a COD
Well,
fanboy" or something like
wasn't
that.
Battlefield 4 was that 2014 game?
I thought it
I
was.
think it was, or
I thought
not.
they came out
Or was
around
that
the same time.
2013?
Or no,
Hardline.
No, 20
Hardline.
Battlefield 4.
Hardline
Hardline is
came
not
out.
out yet. No, that was a
Hardline hasn't
beta.
came out. I'm pretty sure Battlefield 4 came out last year then, because
Hmm.
No, no.
maybe
I
it might
played.
have been 2 years, but I mean,
Well, then, if it came out last year, just we'll magically put it on the list because I enjoyed Battlefield 4.
yeah, I also did.
It was just
so
so
fun.
broken for so long that
Yeah, when it first came out, it was completely shit, but
yeah, it was
it,
broken for
it
like
got
six
better.
months.
It got better along the way. So
Yeah, there was another game recently that had that problem. A lot of games that had that problem.
a lot of games have problems when they first come out for some reason.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because
They're
companies know
pushing
they
them.
can get away with it. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just pushing them, trying to get the first bang for the buck, and they're like, "We'll fix it. Just hold on. I've already bought it
Yeah.
anyway."
We'll fix it along the way, and then we'll put out a bunch of DLC that
Mm.
costs like $20 each.
Keeping shareholders happy, and they said they were going to put it out on this date, and then they say we need more time with shareholders, and everyone goes so stuff like that.
Wait, say it again.
Ah! They clamor when they get their arms above their head. It's like they're falling down a well or something.
Like shit going on the drain.
Oh my god, alcohol makes us say stupid shit.
I know, man. It's great.
Every
It was very
can in front of me is
coherent.
empty.
Very coherent at the beginning of the podcast. Now it's just.
Yeah, now we're like a bunch of old
That
men.
happens after about 3 or 4 beers.
Yeah,
Because after 6, you're pretty fucked up.
all those beers that we've been having.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Those little twangy
Oh, wait.
things.
Oh, there's 6 on the table. Hmm.
Anyway,
By the way, we're not drinking right now. We're just
yeah,
drinking milk
yes,
for those
with
underage
pineapple vodka.
listeners. Pineapple milk. There we go.
Have you had the
Virgin margaritas all around.
Have you had the pineapple vodka?
No, I haven't.
It's oh
Didn't you have something right there?
it's in a bottle over here.
Oh, I don't know if I want to have it right now.
I wanted to get
After
your
this beer, I
reaction
might
on the
consider
show.
I gotta
Oh,
drive back too.
yeah,
So.
that's true. Man, it's terrible. Oh my god, is it bad? I will never buy flavored vodka ever again.
Yeah.
It's a dumb idea. It was
Word to
cheap,
the wise,
Unless you let me
get it
pass out in
straight
the thing right there.
on ice.
huh?
Unless you let me pass out in the right there.
Out in the rain,
Yeah.
the wind soaking
No,
wet
you can
deck.
definitely just sleep on the couch.
Bears will climb up on the deck and drag you away.
Because they're so close to
The Portland Bears.
Portland Bears.
I
What is
don't.
that? It's just some
Ooh,
guy with a
that's the
beard.
new
The Bears.
name.
Yes,
It's just a
it's
guy
the new
with a beard
soccer.
with
Chicago gotta change
glasses
their
on, you
name.
know.
Hmm.
A hipster.
Coming at
That's
you
the
Oh
from
Portland
yeah.
thing.
uptown.
Oh, because everyone's growing beards now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's been a podcast.
I'll have to check out Advanced Warfare. It
It's
seems like a really cool game because I was just playing it about an hour ago.
it's very good.
I like the laser weapons.
We didn't mention. It also has zombies as well as survival, which is like a horde mode.
Cool.
Both of which are ridiculous,
Yeah.
but addicting.
I still prefer Modern Warfare 3's survival mode. Maybe because the jetpack is a bit much for survival. I think you're better off without it in survival because it keeps things a little more grounded. Um, I don't know, but it's a good. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck if you buy this game. I have bought the game as well as the season pass, So I put $110 total in the purchase of the game, and the $50 for the pass.
Money that you don't have.
Oh my God, I know, damn it! All for the coverage of video games and the
Yeah.
listeners of this podcast. So, and to the listeners of the podcast, I've been puzzling over should I maintain this podcast feed or just kill the feed, save my $15 a month, and post these to YouTube instead. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. At any rate, thanks for listening, guys, and we will be back whenever we do another show. I'm in better shape now for recording shows more regularly. So hopefully we will do them more regularly. At any rate, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.